Welcome. I'm Patti, current chairman at the San Joaquin County Board of Supervisors. As I was preparing this year's State of the County address, I was struck by the enormity of the challenges we faced in the past 12 months. Just a year ago, we could never have anticipated that the greatest collective challenge of our generation was just around the corner, or that it would upend each of our lives in so many different ways. But most of all, I was struck and incredibly humbled by how we, as a community, have come together with fortitude to find new ways to work together towards a common goal and to pursue the best actions possible on behalf of the public that we serve. Today, I share the state of the county in the spirit of gratitude and hope. I want to acknowledge the progress we have made over the past year against unimaginable odds and focus on the future and the exceptionalism of the people in San Joaquin County. First, I'd like to thank the board for the honor and responsibility to serve as your chairman as we enter another year. While we will undoubtedly face continued challenges, even as the immediate health impacts of COVID-19 subside, we are ready, we've been tested, and have become practiced at expecting the unexpected and responding with our best effort and without hesitation. Throughout the county, our employees are dedicated to addressing the COVID pandemic-related issues while remaining focused on running a local government and its myriad of services. It's a serious responsibility to remain relentlessly focused on our priorities: fiscal responsibility, good governance, public safety, economic growth, and protecting our water resources. And it's even harder due to remote work, caring for family members, and educating children at home. But we've risen to the occasion. As we move forward, we are resolved to continue working hard to deliver on our priorities while also facing head-on the impacts of this pandemic. The small businesses and the associated jobs that were hit hard by shutdowns, providing services for isolated seniors and those with disabilities. Finding dignified housing for our homeless veterans, vaccinating essential workers, educators, and vulnerable populations, and soon enough, everyone else. Getting our kids back to school, playing sports, dance, and theater. This is a particular concern, as statistically, for every year of school missed, 10% of future earnings are lost. This is not something we can accept for our children or for our grandchildren. I know we will prevail because of what we've already shown we can do. Today, I want to touch on a few highlights in San Joaquin County's COVID response. We were the first county in the state to receive funding from the California Department of Food and Agriculture to participate in the Housing for the Harvest, a new program to provide temporary housing for agricultural workers and food processing employees to self-isolate safely and comfortably if they were COVID positive or if they had been exposed. We launched 2 grant programs for small businesses and family assistance. And by the way, we are looking at how we can do more. Currently, we have small business grants, a $10 million program to provide financial assistance to small businesses to address the expenses for rent and lease and mortgages, utilities, and PPE. Last year, we distributed approximately $7.7 million to businesses through this program alone. Family COVID grants, a $5 million program providing financial assistance to individuals and families who were financially harmed by the pandemic and are struggling to make rent or pay their mortgage, and even to cover their utility costs. In this county, our fiscal responsibility. Even during a year of economic uncertainty and hardship, we maintained a sharp focus on principle of fiscal health. While many counties passed through prior year budgets, we completed our 2021 budget process with the same commitment and focus as we always have. While there will be continued fiscal impacts from COVID, we did our best to maintain a solid foundation in a transparent and accountable manner. I am happy to report that we also have 90% of our labor agreements in contract over the next 24 months. And we're working on taking care of our nurses so that our frontline healthcare providers, whom are dedicated to the county, stay at our county medical center. Public safety. Strengthening public safety has always been a priority in San Joaquin County and remained paramount during this crisis. The Family Justice Center, created by District Attorney Tori Verber Salazar and Suzanne Schultz, is a unique one-stop location for victims of family crimes to access the outstanding service providers within our community. A deputy DA from the Family Crimes Unit is available Monday through Friday to assist victims and witnesses with their cases and to assist law enforcement and other DA staff with issues that arise. Just in the past year, 2,787 victims found hope and healing through this vital program, which includes partnerships with Child Abuse Prevention Council, Women and Children's Services, Human Trafficking Recovery, a Comeback Kids program, and also health and nutrition classes. At the San Joaquin County Jail, Sheriff Withrow and his team are beginning to reinstitute educational, rehabilitative, and vocational programs provided by independent vendors, county employees, San Joaquin County Office of Education, community-based organizations, and over 150 volunteers. Plans are also underway to implement programs that certify individuals in fiber optic and other wiring skills and train them in landscaping and small engine repair. The Sheriff's Office purchased a forklift simulator to teach incarcerated individuals the skills to acquire certification for forklift warehouse work, and they identified funding to purchase a truck driving simulator, as well as partnering with local truck driving schools to help with licensing requirements and job placement. Our probation department continues to do groundbreaking work. Probation Chief Steve Jackson and his team, along with predecessor Stephanie James, advanced collaborative courts, an evidence-based approach which establishes a court team that works probation, parole, community-based organizations, service agencies, and other county agencies. This community collaborative creates access to substance abuse and mental health treatment, along with a myriad of additional agencies that provide academic and vocational programming, social services for offenders and their families, housing resources, and other resources needed for a successful re-entry into our community. Let's cut recidivism. How about economic development? We are focusing on economic growth that may seem counterintuitive when we are reeling from job loss and economic fallout, but we must stay focused on our working class jobs. Growth requires constant attention, and our economic development department hasn't missed a beat. Even while facing the economic challenges of 2020, economic development secured more than $2.6 million to accomplish the following: operating a summer training and employment program for students with disabilities, administer a workforce accelerator fund to assist 50 homeless individuals with education, training, workshops, and supportive services, addressing multiple barriers that English language learners may experience as they increase their English language proficiency and move towards creating a career pathway. Completing the National Dislocated Worker, Trade, and Economic Transition Program that provided services to 150 participants affected by trade changes, serving 35 participants through prison to employment training. Also, I want to recognize the historic, absolutely historic, establishment of the San Joaquin County Apprenticeship Initiative, the first of its kind in the entire state of California, right here in San Joaquin. Between the State Labor and Workforce Development Agency, San Joaquin County's Workforce Development Board, and the Board of Supervisors, we all focused on development of talent in difficult-to-recruit classifications. The county's high school apprentice program, also the first in California's history. This is underway and is making great strides. I'd like to note that San Joaquin County is a fair and equitable employer. Approximately 66% of our employees are female and 33% male. Our workforce embraces ethnic diversity with 63% indicating ethnic minority and 37% as Caucasian. On top of that, we assure fair and equal pay to all. Let's talk about our county airport. In the past year, Stockton Airport procured over $7.1 million in Airport Improvement Program grant funds from the FAA. These grants were 100% funded with no local match for airport improvement and rehabilitation. The airport also received an FAA CARES grant for $20 million to be used for operations, maintenance, and project improvements. Additionally, the county signed a lease with Amazon for the construction of a new facility located on the airport that can add additional aircraft operations at the airport and much-needed jobs for this region. Airport 599. We're also proud to report that in 2021 is the year this long-planned Airport 599 project comes to fruition, which was approved by the board this last October. Phase 1 of this project will include construction of a new infrastructure and approximately 2.4 million square feet of industrial space. Ultimately, when complete, the project will construct approximately 3.5 million square feet of light industrial and warehouse building space. Catalyst is currently developing infrastructure plans to submit for permits in the second quarter of 2021. Construction is anticipated to be underway later this summer. The public-private partnership is projected to generate 2,000 to 5,000 jobs and millions in project revenue to the county general fund. Another concern for all of us, homelessness. This year, San Joaquin County received critical financing from the State Veterans Housing and Homeless Prevention Funds and Low-Income Housing Tax Credits to begin the construction of Victory Gardens, a set and established for homeless veterans. This is a 7-acre community that will offer 49 units of exceptionally affordable housing. Homeless Emergency Aid Program will provide one-time state funding, $7.1 million awarded to San Joaquin County Continuum of Care. As a result, we at the county, in partnership with our cities, will make sure that we are properly addressing our homeless population and the quality of life for those in need of help and those affected by these public health and safety issues. Project Roomkey is an emergency housing program for individuals at higher risk of contracting COVID. We used approximately $3 million in CARES Act funding. The project provides safe isolation housing in 2 motels for approximately 100 elderly and vulnerable individuals. Homeless housing, assistance, and prevention is the largest single source of homelessness funding ever allocated to our region at over $12 million. San Joaquin County and the City of Stockton each receive separate allocations and are collaborating on a local process to determine projects for funding. Successful projects and programs will spread across our county, and plans include shelters, navigation centers, rental assistance, and how to prevent homelessness, and programs to address youth homelessness. We have a VA hospital, and plans are being built as we speak, right here in San Joaquin County at the Veterans Administration community-based outpatient clinic. It's right now underway. The 158,000 square foot clinic, which is scheduled to be completed in the spring of 2023, will offer local veterans primary care physicians, mental health and physical therapy services, and specialists, plus state-of-the-art spaces for patient education, training, and expanded telehealth care services. Water. As a caretaker of our magnificent San Joaquin Delta and our robust agricultural production, we are responsible for sustainable water solutions that will protect now and into the future. That means advocating for our share of over $75 million in state budgeted money to improve system-wide levees and flood protection, and another $60 million for sustainable groundwater projects in critically overdrafted water basins. It also means working with our partners in the Delta Counties Coalition and our statewide allies to oppose any proposed tunnel plan that will create irreversible harm to our cities and counties within this Delta region. And instead, we will concentrate on alternatives that will reduce reliance on the Delta, protect the Delta's fragile ecosystem, and produce more water for California and secure water supply safely and reliably. I want to thank our Public Works Department for their participation in the adoption of the Integrated Regional Water Management Plan, updated, which will provide a roadmap for future water resource management decisions and allow the region to receive $6.5 million in state grant funding to support water management projects, including those that will benefit disadvantaged communities. I want to wrap up again by saying thank you to each and every one of you and our entire community. We've stood by each other during very tough times, and I truly believe we will be stronger when we emerge from this crisis. As I stated earlier, it's critical that we get folks back to work and kids back in school. A key step in that process is to stop the transmission of this virus and the vulnerable populations, and to protect essential workers, including our teachers. To date, over 140,000 vaccinations have been administered to San Joaquin County residents. Soon, when we see businesses reopening, jobs making a comeback, kids getting permanently back in the classroom and playing sports, having social events, local fundraisers, and worship activities, plus family and friend gatherings, we will all have a reason to celebrate. Please continue with your COVID testing, wearing a mask as needed, getting signed up for a vaccine as desired, and practice good health and safety protocols. Together, we will prevail because we are resilient, we are hardworking, and a community of support and opportunity. We are San Joaquin County strong.